हैं एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक्स तक जा रही है। आज की सरकार देश के सीमावर्ती गांवों को आखिरी गांव न मानकर उन्हें फर्स्ट विलेज मानते हुए काम कर रही है।
2047 में भारत विकसित राष्ट्र हो, इसके लिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने एक संकल्प लिया है। इस संकल्प की सिद्धि और उस सिद्धि से भारत की समृद्धि के लिए ही एक नए कार्यक्रम की नींव पड़ी, एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक प्रोग्राम एबीपी। 112 एस्पिरेशनल जिलों में एस्पिरेशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट प्रोग्राम एडीपी को सफलता के साथ लागू किया जा चुका है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री के नेतृत्व में एडीपी प्रोग्राम की सफलता को जमीनी स्तर पर पहुंचाने के लिए ही एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक प्रोग्राम की शुरुआत की जा रही है। ये प्रोग्राम प्रधानमंत्री जी के सबका साथ सबका विकास के विजन को घर घर तक पहुंचाने का मिशन है। एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक प्रोग्राम, जिसमें विकास का फोकस होगा ब्लॉक यानी विकास खंड। कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म के आदर्श पर एस्पिरेशनल ब्लॉक प्रोग्राम में भी राज्यों का बहुत बड़ा और अहम रोल है। एबीपी में 500 ब्लॉक्स को चुना गया है। इरादा पक्का है और मिशन सिर्फ एक है, विकास का लाभ हर ब्लॉक के हर जन तक पहुंचे और विकास की ये बयार देश के कोने कोने तक पहुंचे। सरकार इस कार्यक्रम की सफलता के लिए कई जरूरी बातों का ध्यान रख रही है, जैसे कि ब्लॉक स्तर के डेवलपमेंट के लिए सही रणनीति का चुनाव, अधिकारियों के हाथ मजबूत करने के लिए केंद्रीय और राज्य ग्रामीण।
All those seated at the back to kindly move forward and occupy the seats in the front. आप सभी जो पीछे की ओर बैठे हैं, सभी से निवेदन है कृपया आगे की ओर आ जाएं, और जो सीट्स खाली हैं, जो कुर्सियां खाली हैं, कृपया उनमें स्थान ग्रहण कर लें। We really regret the inconvenience caused to you, but once again requesting all our guests who are seated at the back to kindly move forward and occupy the seats in the front rows. सभी अतिथिगण जो पीछे की ओर बैठे हैं, उनसे निवेदन है कृपया आगे की पंक्तियों में अपना स्थान ग्रहण कर लें। अब से कुछ ही समय में माननीय मुख्य अतिथि हमारे बीच मंच पर होंगे और हम उद्घाटन सत्र की शुरुआत करेंगे। माननीय मुख्य अतिथि श्री राजीव गौबा जी इस वक्त प्रदर्शनी का उद्घाटन कर प्रदर्शनी का नुमाइना कर रहे हैं। उसके पश्चात वे सभी मंच पर उपस्थित होंगे। Ladies and gentlemen, very shortly, Honorable Chief Guest Shri Rajiv Gauba ji, Honorable Member Niti Aayog, who is presently inaugurating and taking a tour of the exhibition, will join us along with other dignitaries on the stage for the inaugural session. After the inaugural session, we will have a short tea break, which will be followed by 3 parallel breakout sessions. The breakout sessions are conducted in hall number 4, 5, and 6. Hall number 4 is on the first floor and hall number 5 and 6 is on the second floor. Post-lunch, after one session, we have a lunch break. Post-lunch, again we have 3 breakout sessions. And then we come here back to the plenary hall for the valedictory session. आप सभी को सूचित करना चाहेंगे उद्घाटन सत्र के पश्चात चाय कॉफ़ी की ब्रेक के पश्चात हम 3 अलग थीमेटिक सेशंस जो कि पैरेलली चलेंगे, जिनका आयोजन किया गया है हॉल नंबर 4, 5 और 6 में। हॉल नंबर 4 पहली मंजिल पर है और हॉल नंबर 5 और 6 दूसरी मंजिल पर हैं। पहले सेशन के बाद लंच होगा। लंच के पश्चात फिर एक और सेशन हॉल नंबर 4, 5 और 6 में। आप सेशंस के विषय अनुसार आप जिसमें आपकी रुचि है उस हॉल में जाकर आप वो सेशन अटेंड कर सकते हैं। उसके पश्चात अंत में क्लोजिंग सेरेमनी के लिए, वैलिडिटरी सेशन के लिए दोबारा हम इसी हॉल में आएंगे। जो ब्रेकआउट सेशंस के विषय हैं वो है फोस्टरिंग इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ, स्किल लाइवलीहुड इंटरवेंशंस, ट्रांसफॉर्मिंग हेल्थ, ब्रेक थ्रू इंटरवेंशंस, clean water, safe sanitation, healthy communities, WASH initiatives. These are the 3 parallel sessions post tea break, before the lunch break. After the lunch break, we have again 3 sessions: innovations in agriculture, nourishing tomorrow, progressive approaches in nutrition, and learning, reimagine educational innovations. And in the end, after high tea, we will have validatory session here itself in this plenary hall. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we would once again like to inform Honorable Chief Guest Sri Rajiv Gauba is at the exhibition, will join us in another 5 to 7 minutes. Meanwhile, once again requesting everyone to be seated and all mobile phones either switched off or kept on to silent mode from now onwards, please. Thank you. लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, जोरदार तालियों के साथ स्वागत करेंगे माननीय मुख्य अतिथि श्री राजीव गौबा जी का, माननीय सदस्य नीति आयोग, श्री BVR सुब्रमण्यम, चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर नीति आयोग, श्री रोहित कुमार, एडिशनल सेक्रेटरी एंड मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर अटल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम एंड एस्पिरेशन ब्लॉक्स प्रोग्राम नीति आयोग, और श्री अशोक मीना जी का, सेक्रेटरी DDWS। Namaskar and good morning. Shri Rajiv Gauba ji, Honorable Member Niti Aayog, esteemed dignitaries on the dais, district collectors and nominated district level officials from the aspirational districts, senior officials of Niti Aayog and relevant ministries, international representatives, NGOs and INGOs, academicians, researchers and experts in health, education, agriculture and governance, respected members of the press and media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor today and privilege to welcome you all to the National Seminar on Catalyst of Change, Innovations and Best Practices in Aspirational Districts and Blocks, organized by Niti Aayog. The Aspirational Districts Program, ADP, an initiative of Niti Aayog, is a landmark mission to rapidly transform the socio-economic profile of the most underdeveloped districts and blocks across India. It focuses on convergence, collaboration, and competition to drive development outcomes and bridge disparities. Today's seminar has been convened to showcase successful interventions, promote cross-learning, and scale up replicable models that have made measurable impacts in these aspirational regions. This is a celebration of ground-level innovation, of change-makers who are redefining what is possible when policy meets passion and purpose. नीति आयोग द्वारा आयोजित इस राष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठी परिवर्तन के उत्प्रेरक आकांक्षी जिलों और प्रखंडों में नवाचार और सर्वोत्तम प्रथाएं में आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत, हार्दिक अभिनंदन है। आज का यह आयोजन जमीनी स्तर पर नवाचार का उत्सव, जन बदलाव लाने वालों का उत्सव है, जो यह साबित कर रहे हैं कि जब नीति, जुनून और उद्देश्य आपस में मिलते हैं तो असंभव भी संभव हो जाता है। And today, the presence of eminent dignitaries is a source of inspiration for all of us present here, the dignitaries who have graced this occasion with their presence and guidance. And now to begin this significant day, I would like to invite Sri Rohit Kumarji, Additional Secretary and Mission Director, Aspirational Districts and Blocks Program, Niti Aayog, to kindly deliver the welcome address and set the tone for the proceedings of the day. Let's put our hands together to welcome sir.
Thank you so much. Respected Shri Rajiv Gauba sir, Member Niti Aayog, Shri BVR Subramaniam sir, CEO Niti Aayog, Shri Ashok Meena sir, Secretary Drinking Water and Sanitation, all my senior colleagues from Niti Aayog and Government of India and state governments, district magistrates and officers from the districts, development partners, and all distinguished guests. First of all, I extend a hearty welcome to you all. Over the last few years, we at Niti Aayog have had the privilege of witnessing something truly transformative, district and block administrations across the country. They are driving change through data, innovation, and local leadership. Under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the Aspirational Districts program was started in 2018 and was built on the belief that the right support and accountability framework, the districts can outperform expectations. Encouraged by the success, we extended the model of Aspirational Districts program to another level, that is Aspirational Blocks program, pushing the same principles of data-led decision-making, convergence, and healthy competition to the next level of governance. Today, both the programs, they represent a living model of cooperative federalism, where the center provides the platform, but it is the districts and the block, they lead the progress. One of the key strengths of the ADP and ABP has been peer learning. Many districts have asked not just what to do, but how did others do it. Today's best practices seminar respond to that demand. We have curated 6 panel discussions across core themes: health, nutrition, education, agriculture, WASH, and skilling. Each session will feature real field experience narrated by none other than the district magistrate who led the program at the district level. Not just what was done, but how it was done, with insights into income, challenges, and enablers. The purpose of the seminar is just not to celebrate innovation, but to enable adaptation. Many of these practices are low cost, high impact, and designed for resource-constrained settings, exactly what other blocks and districts can adopt them. We are also working to capture and codify this learning in the best practices Compendium, which is to be launched today, so that they can continue to travel beyond today. I'm grateful to the honorable members of Niti Aayog for chairing, and the secretaries to Government of India for co-chairing this session and supporting this platform. Also grateful to the district magistrate who have come all the way with their teams, and let me tell you, you have shown what is possible with intent, data, and ground leadership coming together. Let this seminar be a starting point for action, for adapting what you hear today, customizing to your district, your block, your context, and take it forward and make it a Jan Andolan, which is the basically main theme of this program. Because every good idea deserves to be scaled, and every district and block deserve a solution that works. Again, I welcome you all Jai Hind.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to help us understand the larger context and goals of this seminar, I have the privilege to invite Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam, Chief Executive Officer, Niti Aayog, for the context-setting address. Let's welcome sir with a round of applause.
Respected member, former Cabinet Secretary Gauba Saab, my colleagues on the dais, and friends and officials from both Government of India and the state government. It's lovely to have all of you in this room. This is a room we were all familiar with. We grew up in this particular hall, by the way. When we were much younger than you, we used to come here. There used to be, I was just telling Mr. Gauba that there used to be an annual meeting of the POs of DRDA. It used to be a big thing in the late 80s, early 90s. Secretary Rural Development used to conduct it. As young officers from the field, we used to come and attend. And because there are 600 districts in India, it wouldn't happen on one day. It would happen on 2 days in 2 lots. So there are a lot of fond memories. And with all the new structures coming up, we don't know when this building is going to change. But just remember that this is a hall which is hoary, which has a lot of history. And you're all part of a very historic movement that is going on. That's the ADP-ABP program. We were slightly delayed by about 20-25 minutes, but actually that is part of the schedule. There's a lovely exhibition outside. And that exhibition actually is showcasing what you have been doing in all the districts. Be it Tonk in Rajasthan, be it Rampur in Uttar Pradesh, be it a district in Andhra Pradesh with natural farming, you know. And it's the purpose of this particular seminar today is to make you learn about what your colleagues and partners are doing in other parts of India. Some are doing it themselves, but some can also see what others are doing. That, I think, is the essence of ADP-ABP. ADP-ABP has focused on 3 basic criteria or goals, or the way it functions. Convergence, that is converge schemes, collaborate with each other in the district, collaborate with partners, collaborate across districts, and the third is compete with each other. And compete not in a negative way, but in a positive way. That if somebody is excelling, can I excel more than you and do slightly better? And I think that's what the program rewards. This is not a money-driven program. This is a program about last mile delivery, implementation, and saturate. See that no one is left behind. And I think that is the way this program has worked, and it has worked wonders. And as we see today, we can see a tremendous transformation happening in this program. And the reward you get is nothing but recognition and satisfaction that you have made a difference. Even if 10 people, 100 people, 200 people's lives have changed because of you, that's an immense source of satisfaction. You go home and sleep very blessed. Blessed that so many people are thinking good about you. And I think that's what satisfaction, true satisfaction. We in offices very often are very busy clearing files, papers, etc. We do not see the outcomes of that. Unlike that, all of you working in ADP and APP district are seeing the impact of your work in the ground. You actually see people's lives changing because of your efforts. And this is the most satisfying period of your entire career. All of you will go on to hold much, much higher positions in life, much higher than where you are today. But it is immaterial. What you do now is going to be very, very memorable. And these are the memories you will carry on into your old age. This particular program has been designed to be a best practices seminar. What does it mean? They have put together a very good program. All my colleagues have put together 6 themes. There are about 18 or 19 speakers who are here. That's again speakers from you, telling what they have done on that particular theme. And then you have, of course, experts coming in both from the ministries and from Niti sitting here. So the whole idea is, can you learn from what others are doing? If one district has done very well in education, Padhai with AI, okay, can I do Padhai with AI in my districts or a different form? It's not just to copy. It is to actually, replicate, but refine it as you replicate. And also contextualize it to your own district or your block. I think that's the whole purpose. And so can you learn, go back and improve the implementation of the ABP initiative in your blocks and districts? And I think that is what there you are. We grew up in an era which didn't have internet. Our best source was a newspaper and nothing more. And there are parts of the country where the newspapers came 1 or 2 days late also. So you actually didn't know what was doing. So you actually existed, a DM or a BDO, whatever, existed in buckets. And those buckets were quite isolated. Once in 6 months, when the development commissioner, the agriculture production commissioner would take a meeting, that's when you heard what others are doing. Otherwise, you never knew. You're growing up in an era of internet, high level of connectivity, not just mobile phone, internet, broadband, everything is there. This is a chance to learn very fast, and that's what we want to facilitate. So if you look at Niti, it's not only where have we got these best practices from, it has come from you. We have set up a Niti for States portal, and that portal actually documents best practices across 10 sectors. All these sectors relate to you. They relate to health, education, nutrition, agriculture, livelihoods, connectivity, basic infrastructure, etc. And these are well documented. And they are not something which is blindly uploaded as a case which you have sent. It is curated, modified, put in a particular form, and it is searchable. So you can actually search for. So I would urge you, before the end of the day, I'll ask my colleagues to share the URL or the link to the NFS portal. You can actually, because you're sitting in some corner of India, somewhere in, Kupwada in Kashmir or Kanyakumari, and you want to do something, say, in healthcare, particularly young children. You actually are not finding a solution locally. You can go to the NFS portal, look for what you want, do a word search, pick up that, and actually you can say, okay, this is one way of tackling it. It could be any other field. So I think the purpose of this particular workshop is document all the good things you're doing, spread the good word, and see others improve by doing that, I thank you all for turning out in large numbers. This is a peak season, rains are on, agriculture is on at full swing. We all have little crises going on or challenges everywhere, but having taken time off, I think it's very, very important. We learn to lead. By learning from each other, we end up leading our own area, our blocks, our districts. I think that should be the motto of this seminar, from learning to leading, and that's where we are. And you have been doing very well. And what's the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You have just had a Sampurnata Abhiyan Samman Samaroh. We did a Sampurnata Abhiyan last year. Over 3 months, we asked you to saturate up to 6 indicators in your blocks and districts. The results are very heartening. Over 90 out of the 110 districts have saturated 3 or more indicators. Over 350 blocks have saturated over 3 or more indicators, 8 out of 500 blocks. That's a phenomenal success ratio. What happens when you saturate? It basically means that problem is now out of the way. You can move on to the next one. I mean, all of you have appeared in exams, come through qualification exam. When you attack a question paper, you pick up the easy ones first, finish those answers, then go to the more difficult ones. Then you end up actually completing the paper. So I think that was the approach. And this was actually a direction given by the Prime Minister. When he was addressing you all in 2023 September, he said that, He said, कुछ indicators को चुनो, उसको खत्म करो, उसको saturate करके फिर दूसरे indicators में चले जाओ. I think that is the purpose. Pick up a few indicators, saturate. And last week we had award ceremonies at the state levels and then subsequently district level. We said, recognize all the district and block leaders, recognize all the frontline workers. And I think thousands of certificates have been distributed to your frontline worker. That Anganwadi worker, that Asha worker, that school teacher who is making a difference. For them, there is no recognition in the system. Mind you, the certificate you give, the clap that they get in an audience, which is large, their community, or even, somebody actually complimenting them, that goes into their memory, your certificate goes into their drawing room. Please remember that. It is very, very valuable. What looks very, very simple and easy for you is something very, very big in their lives. And they actually tell that to their people. So I think you've made a difference. I think we should have another Abhiyan. We're waiting for the rains to be over. We will pick up 5-6 indicators, and I'm sure you will show the same thing. And the only other thing I will say before I end is, what is the compliment you get in addition to all this? We not only recognize your work, we rank districts and blocks, we also give you some award money. And it doesn't look substantial, but the freedom to use that money the way you want is actually what makes it most effective. Most government programs give you money which is tied. PMAY means build a house. PMJSY means build a road. The money we give is up to you. Do something innovative. Do something creative so that you can leave your mark, chap, on that district or block. I think that's what it is. And lastly, we at NITI have a lot of funds for innovation. Over a month ago, I think we have sanctioned over 100 crores, various innovative projects that have come from blocks and districts. Use this program to learn from each other, tickle your minds, come up with new ideas, submit proposals next week, next month, next quarter, and we will sanction them. I promise you, turnaround time 15 days, and then you will be able to do it. And complete the work when you are there so that you can see the outcome of whatever you are. It could be in schools, it could be in Anganwadis, it could be basic infrastructure, it could be in some teaching learning material. I have seen some DMs actually build up, racing tracks, running tracks also. Fine enough, that's up to them. I think one of them is in the room. I won't want to name, but you will hear from him during the course of the day. So I wish you all the best. Thanks for coming, and make the best use of the day that you're going to be spending here. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for beautifully articulating the transformative vision that drives this initiative forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to a truly special moment in this national seminar, the formal release of the Best Practices Compendium on Innovations and Best Practices in Aspirational Districts. The compendium is more than just a document. It is a testament to the dedication, innovation, and impact created on the ground by our administrators, frontline workers, and community stakeholders in some of India's most aspirational geographies. The compendium captures real-world solutions, replicable models, and scalable innovations that have made a measurable difference in the lives of citizens. These success stories reflect the transformative power of local leadership, innovation, and cross-sector collaboration. May I now request all our distinguished dignitaries on the stage to kindly unveil the Best Practices Compendium. And ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the release of the Best Practices Compendium. Thank you, sirs, for doing the honors. Honorable Chief Guest today, Shri Rajiv Gaubaji, Honorable Member Niti Aayog, is a distinguished 1982 batch IAS officer. Has served as the Cabinet Secretary to the Government of India and has held several pivotal roles, including Union Home Secretary, Secretary of Urban Development, and Chief Secretary of Jharkhand. Widely recognized for his leadership in governance and administrative reforms, he has been instrumental in driving transformative national initiatives and strategic policy interventions. Currently continues to contribute to India's development vision as the Honorable Member of Niti Aayog. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to invite Shri Rajiv Gaubaji, Honorable Member Niti Aayog, for the keynote address. And let's put our hands together to welcome Sir for the keynote address.
Shri B.V.R. Subramaniam, CEO Niti Aayog, Shri Ashok Meena, Secretary Drinking Water, Rohit Kumar, Additional Secretary, my colleagues in Niti Aayog, young officers from the districts, and representatives of development partners, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. First of all, I would like to congratulate all those who have pioneered good practices and innovations in their districts and blocks and have brought about meaningful change in the lives of the people in their districts and their blocks. I just went around the exhibition outside this hall, and it's really amazing work that has been done and which has been showcased outside. And many of you will have the opportunity of presenting the work that has been done in your districts and blocks in these sessions today to a, in a sense, a national audience. And you will have the satisfaction, therefore, as a result of, this program, of seeing your work being replicated in other parts of the country. For several years, when, as Cabinet Secretary, I used to take meetings to select the districts for Civil Services Awards with other members, including CEO, Niti Aayog as a member, I was, struck by the commitment, dedication, and innovative spirit of young officers in the field today. And I used to tell my colleagues, my committee members, that, I wish I had this sort of innovative spirit. That was actually a different era of governance, Innovation, there was no access to technology, what Subramaniam also alluded to, mentioned in his address. Resources were limited. The focus of administration and governance was somewhat different, welfare programs, implementing development programs and all that. But innovation, using technology, etc., that was not the norm those days. So today, in a sense, the officers today in the field, you are fortunate to have far more resources at your disposal. There are large missions being run by the Government of India. You go into the field and you see something missing, a road or drinking water. You can, with the resources at your disposal, you can make those things available. And there are development partners today. I just saw the kind of work that they are doing, and I really commend them for their commitment, because for those who are not in the government, or who are not part of government machinery, for them to go out and work in the field is even more difficult. So we must, value and recognize their contribution. So, the environment or the culture of governance has changed in the last 10, 15 years. It's far more today supportive of innovation. This is not to detract from the amazing work that individually you have done. That, once again, I compliment all of you. And what has really made this program a success story is it is this commitment of officers in the field. And as a result of, what the outcomes that were accomplished, then the Aspirational Block program was launched by the Prime Minister during the Chief Secretary's conference in December 2023. The entire bedrock, of this program is intensive indicator-based monitoring. It's not about additional funding or a new scheme. Of course, there are, some additional resources available because of development partners, because of the fund that is at the disposal of the Niti Aayog. But it's not really about additional funding. It's about convergence. It's about intensive indicator-based monitoring. It's about improving governance and using innovation to achieve better outcomes with the same set of financial resources. Essentially, this program has demonstrated the transformative potential of convergence, collaboration, and competition. The indicators chosen in the ADP and ABP, they are very specific, which have a bearing on the day-to-day lives of people, whether it is learning outcomes or maternal health indicators or nutrition or access to water supply. And another important factor underlying the success of this program is that it fosters a spirit of healthy competition among the states, districts, and now blocks amongst officers, and convergence of funding available under various schemes. But the most important thing is that it has inculcated a feeling of self-belief in those districts, in the officers who are in those districts, and the people, society at large, that they had not done well, they were at the bottom of the ladder, and they were kind of, treated as written off, that even they can rise and bring themselves up to the level of the, not just the average in the state, but some of them have in fact surpassed the averages and have become top performers. So I would encourage each of you, that you may have done well in one field in education, health, maternal indicators, but you should try and aspire to become the best in all other fields also. When we have evaluated the work being done in the district, sometimes I felt that the same idea with some variation is being conceptualized and concretized and then put into practice all over again in another district, maybe in the same state or in another state the next year. So the need for peer learning or sharing of best practices and not reinventing the wheel, as it were, is extremely important. And I think that is the importance of this kind of a program of sharing of best practices. The Department of Administrative Reforms, under the leadership of the Secretary V. Srinivas, I think he's going to speak to you later in the day, they have taken steps to institutionalize this thing, the sharing of best practices through webinars and by having a repository of best practices readily available. And I think NITI is doing the same work. So I think that is extremely important, because this seminar is an attempt to provide you all with a forum for learning from each other, dissemination of best practices in an easy manner. So I hope that this will facilitate that these best practices are adopted not just by the aspirational districts and blocks, but by others also in a short time frame, so that there is an across the board and rapid improvement in all priority areas, whether it is improving outcomes in foundational literacy and numeracy, real-time tracking of learning levels, strengthening of the primary health care infrastructure, especially with the tech-enabled diagnostics and telemedicine, or improvement in child health indicators, nutrition, promoting demand-driven skilling, and rural enterprise ecosystem. The Sampurnata Abhiyan campaign, which was held under the aegis of Niti Aayog last year, from July to September, was meant to achieve saturation. And that has been a priority for the Prime Minister. He has emphasized on many occasions that nobody should be left behind and we should aim at saturation. So I would encourage those, many have achieved saturation, but those who haven't, I would encourage you to strive for saturation in your districts and blocks. Since I have the attention of young officers from so many states, I would also like to take this opportunity to impress upon you some other important points. The Prime Minister has given a call, as you all know, for Viksit Bharat by 2047. All states have joined this endeavor and are preparing their own vision documents and action plans. I am sure many of you would have been involved. Your inputs may also have been sought. So states are preparing their vision documents, action plan in sync with the Viksit Bharat vision for a Viksit state. The chief ministers spoke at length about this during the last Governing Council meeting of Niti Aayog on 24th May this year. I think 6 states and 3 UTs have already released their visions documents, and 5 states are in the process of doing so in the next few months. There can be no Viksit Bharat without Viksit states. So states have joined this effort wholeheartedly. But now it's time for the districts also to get involved in this enterprise. I think many of our districts are bigger than countries. There are at least 100 countries which are smaller in area than districts like Kutch, Leh, or Jaisalmer. And then there are districts like Thane, Mumbai Suburban, Bengaluru, and North 24 Parganas, which have population larger than 140 countries. When I used to work at the International Monetary Fund between 2001 to 2005, and IMF and across the road World Bank, they have desks dedicated to small countries, and full teams working on those countries. And I used to wonder, having that I have been district magistrate of districts which had population bigger than many of these countries. So we have to think like countries. The districts today, and with the kind of data that is available, technology, resources, role of district administration needs to be reimagined. Just as it underwent a transformation in 1947, from upholding the rule of law and collecting revenue. It changed from, the men who ruled India, as Philip Mason called the colonial era officials, maintaining order and collecting revenue, to the men who served India, to civil servants of the largest democracy, tasked with welfare of citizens. Time has now come for another paradigm change, for districts and cities to become hubs of economic growth. Each district should identify and leverage their strengths. It could be tourism somewhere, it could be agriculture, it could be manufacturing or services. So district collectors, municipal commissioners, ADMs, SDMs, those at the cutting edge of governance, you have another crucial role to play in realizing the goal of Viksit Bharat and Viksit State. The world today is looking to invest in India, but it requires a facilitative environment, a proactive approach, easy approvals, quick decisions, cutting down layers in decision making, and cutting down unnecessary paperwork, unnecessary documentation, hurdles and harassment which citizens and entrepreneurs face at the cutting edge. That is something, which you can really bring about a change in your districts. Several, globally respected commentators and our own experts have acknowledged the fact that the Indian state does a remarkable job of managing or handling crisis situations, or, when things have to be done in a mission mode, like conducting elections or globally unique events like Kumbh Mela, running vaccination drives. But we struggle to deliver basic services on a regular basis. So these services in the areas of health, nutrition, public safety, these are essential for the well-being of citizens, and they are also key contributors of productivity and economic growth. According to Poshan Tracker, for example, 37% of our children are stunted as of June 2025. There has been improvement, significant improvement in recent years, but the numbers in wasting, stunting, underweight continue to be unacceptably high, despite the fact that government has been running programs, big programs, like Poshan for several decades now, despite having put in place a large institutional framework comprising nearly 14 lakh Anganwadi centers. And Government of India alone, I think, spends upwards of 20,000 crores on this program every year. Similarly, learning outcome studies reveal that large proportion of children in senior classes in our schools lack basic reading, writing, and number skills. As per the ASER report 2024, 33% of the 8th standard children couldn't read a second standard level textbook, and 55% were not able to do basic arithmetics like division. Now, this is not just a human tragedy, but it also means that you are wasting the demographic dividend which we are currently blessed with. So there is a similar situation in the area of public safety. We come across incidents, unfortunate incidents every day, every other day, collapse of stampedes or bridges which were not maintained, or regulations there were not enforced, and therefore resulting in tragedies, non-compliance of SOPs. So I think that the officers in the field, the districts, need to pay much greater attention to the routine and perhaps unglamorous but important work of enforcing rules and regulations in matters related to public safety. Weak public services impact the poor and vulnerable disproportionately because they have to pay a higher fraction of their income in seeking private solutions. For example, when a poor person is compelled to send their children to even to a mediocre private school because teachers come there, at least come there regularly. So in the end, I want to emphasize one more point, the importance of teamwork. The indicators in aspirational district and block program, they span a large area from agriculture to health to education to skill development. I think what is a point of some worry is that the good work which is being done in the districts and blocks, the initiatives which are being pioneered, how to sustain them. They should not, flounder after the district magistrate or the ADM or the BDO in the aspirational block program after he or she is transferred. So these initiatives need to be institutionalized. I think I will urge all of you to pay importance to this aspect, that what you have pioneered, it survives after you have left. And that will require, that this whole work should not become a one-man or one-woman show. In the district, you have several departments and their district heads who are there, the civil surgeon, the district agriculture officer, the district education officer. I think it's important to make it a collective and a team effort and take extra care to ensure that the practices are institutionalized and they outlast the current incumbents. I hope that in the sessions which will follow, you will have productive, meaningful discussions, enrich your experiences, and you go back with renewed commitment and dedication to improve the quality of services in your districts and blocks and to improve the lives of the people. I couldn't agree more with what Subramaniam said, that, there is nothing comparable to the satisfaction of seeing in front of your eyes the change in the lives of the people. You all will go on to occupy, more important positions in the state administration or in the government of India, policy-making roles, but you will miss the excitement and the sense of fulfillment that you see when you make the change in the lives of the people. That, I think, is the most important aspect or dimension of this program. I wish all of you very well, and thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much indeed, sir, for your insightful and a very inspiring and motivating address. And finally, to close this inaugural segment, I invite Shri Anand Shekharji, Additional Mission Director, Aspirational Districts and Blocks Program, Niti Aayog, to kindly propose the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It's my particular privilege to be presenting the vote of thanks. On behalf of Team ADP-ABP, let me start by extending our deepest gratitude to Honorable Member Shri Rajiv Gaubaji for such an inspiring keynote address. Our sincere thanks to CEO Niti Aayog, Shri BVR Subramaniam ji, for giving us the broad context of this national seminar, which is for purposes of knowledge sharing, knowledge coordination. To Shri Ashok Meena sir for gracing this inaugural plenary, and to Shri Rohit Kumar ji, Additional Secretary and Mission Director for ADP and ABP, for his inaugural welcome address. I'm also very grateful to all PDs of Niti Aayog for their participation, representatives from state governments, districts and blocks. I think we have a fantastic day ahead. So let's join the deliberations, and thank you everyone on this dais, very esteemed dais, for guiding us right at the start of the program. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words of appreciation and encouragement for all. And ladies and gentlemen, with that we conclude the inaugural session and we prepare to move into our technical segments where we will hear directly from districts and blocks that are lighting the path for others to follow. Do stay with us as we continue to explore and celebrate